Hi and welcome back to another episode of our Renowned Gamer series, which is proving to be very exciting indeed. We are with the excellent John Robertson. Oh no, he's gone.
Hey!
He came back!
Hello. Sorry,
Hey,
I'm very dumbly excited by the fact I've just got large googly eyes on the back of my chair, and I don't get sick of showing that to people despite being 35. So hello.
I think the day that you get sick of googly eyes is time to start packing it up, you know?
Yeah, absolutely. It's a sign that the soul is dead. If you can't find fun in an eye that moves like that and jiggles alarmingly, then who are you?
Yeah,
I don't
you're dead
want to know
inside. There's nothing left.
Nothing left at all. You withered husk of a person. But yeah, hello.
Hi.
What a lovely beginning. How are you?
I'm very well, thank you so much. I'm very much enjoying myself, frankly. I like sitting around and talking to people, so this is working out just great for me. Quite wonderful.
Wonderful. Yeah, I like sitting around and talking to people, but not being particularly close with them. So the pandemic's been a dream.
It is,
It's
yeah,
just been
superb.
great.
Yeah, I completely agree. Like there is so much joy to be had in constant connection from a distance.
Yeah,
Great,
oh,
beautiful.
no, it's brilliant. It's brilliant. I feel wanted yet estranged. It's wonderful. And also, no one realises that, of course, you're just wearing tracksuit pants all the time.
And you're safe to do whatever you want at any time, and no one's going to judge you because they will have no idea.
Entirely true, unless, of course, you leave the camera on at the end of the conference call, as that guy just found out, which I fear has just made the... I've just sort of dated the interview a little bit, but that's okay. It will keep happening over the course of lockdown.
I can go back through it and ask you to send us edits of just one word, like a few weeks ago or month ago or whatever. It's fine. We can make it work, obviously.
Yeah, that's really George Lucas, this. In fact, this is... Folks, just so you know, this isn't even the original interview. This is the third remaster. This is the prequel to the interview, and it's amazing. It's amazing. Some people like it better. They're wrong, but nevertheless.
So why don't we start from kind of your experience with games as far as how you've gotten to this point?
Sure,
and what you do. Let's do that too.
Well, I've been playing video games since I was about 5. And the most important part is I realise as I say that, and I can see myself, I look like I've been playing video games since I was 5. I remember when they were still called computer games. You know, this was the fabulous term. And I played a lot of things without knowing what they were on necessarily. You know, there was just that moment where you're like, wait a minute, I played Jack the Nipper?
Yeah.
When did I find time?
I don't know,
How
I
did
thought
that
that's
happen?
so funny.
Because even looking at that, right, I'm Australian. We get a lot of our media from the UK, a lot of our media from America. So we would get, old, like a month late, we'd get like British gaming magazines. So I would know what was big in Bournemouth, and stuff like that, while living, weirdly enough, in Guildford in Western Australia, a town.
That's weird.
Yeah, a little suburb that was set up to be a cosplay of Guildford in the UK, but without any thriving gaming sector.
Well, maybe it's time to change that, John.
Because Ross had a Mega Drive. That was the gaming sector. We had a great time. So I mean, I've played pretty much on every console that's come out since about 1990. Mm-hmm. And I've just encountered everything over the years, like realising the other day when I was flicking through an old thing of every Master System game and realising, oh, wait a minute, yeah, I was at James's house when we played Rambo.
Love it.
Right! And this fun childhood memory of like playing this nice top-down actioner and then, of course, going out in the yard and just pretending to shoot each other, Oh, what a childhood.
Those were the days, man. And what's your day job now, then? Why don't you take us through that to a certain extent?
I am a stand-up comic, but then, of course, the pandemic went and took away every live venue. So I became a Twitch streamer, and now I just talk at people. Twice a day, 6 days a week, and we have a brilliant time. I do a show called The Dark Room, which is the world's only live-action text adventure. And we just do the motto of the channel is sex, death, nerd shit. That's what we do.
That's fantastic.
Yeah, it's lovely. It means that over the course of a day, we can be sitting there going, all right, everyone, we've just found out that in Japan, erotica writers use the term chrysanthemum to mean anus, but the chrysanthemum is the national flower of China. I detect some nationalist bullshit.
I mean, how else are we going to find out these things? It's vital information.
I find them out the same way everyone else does. Somebody posted in my chat. That's how I keep finding out celebrities are dead. I'll be on camera and be like, what? No, really?
John Robertson's reacts to death of. Yeah.
Yes.
You could make a whole compilation.
To be fair, it's good we've put that on camera because I react loudly to everything. Very badly socialised, the boy. So it's nice to have a camera, given I can be loudly astonished by things like a cat.
Yeah.
Good Lord.
I'm really there's a lot of similarities. There's a lot of similarities here. I'm definitely feeling. I completely understand where you're coming from. So talking about games when you were a kid. So what are your kind of either favourite games you played when you were younger, or your earliest gaming memory, if you can recall it?
My earliest gaming memory is being very excited, and this is like the first gaming memory where I can hold on to it and go, no, I knew the name of it and I know why I was thrilled. It was going to a friend of my mother's house, and then they would have a kid who was a lot older than you, and that kid would have a computer, and I played the New Zealand story. And I was so excited because, of course, New Zealand was the country next to Australia. And I knew what a Kiwi was. So I was so thrilled. And then I remember being so distressed when this giant walrus just steals all its children.
What is this game?
Yeah, well, the thing is, like, that game is aesthetically the cutest thing you can imagine, right? It's very much in that time period of, like, your Alex Kidd in Miracle Worlds, this sort of thing. Except for the fact that it is goddamn skull-crushingly hard. So
as they often were.
I became, because I'd been raised on Disney, right? Pretty much I went, cute thing, sad thing for cute thing, now the quest for vengeance, because that's almost every one of their films, right? And then it just became, can't get past level 1.
Those games, man.
Yeah,
they
Kiwi
were really
never got
tough.
its kids back. I hate to tell you. I gave up, folks. I gave up. It was like I was trying to petition the Australian government to have basic empathy for immigrants. You can try, and you should, but
keep trying. However, there's a chance.
You have to keep bloody trying, but you will at some point. You must despair. So that was my experience of the New Zealand story, but also like just the fun of like. I get the feeling my mum and dad probably had their date nights on Friday nights, because I definitely used to go rent a Mega Drive game every Friday from the video store, and you'd go and, $5 to get it overnight, $9 to get it for the weekend, and, just things like like the first time I played Theme Park, it was on the Mega Drive, which almost anyone who's ever played the beauty of Theme Park can tell you, well, you probably want a computer. For a start, it's got a mouse.
Yeah, it's going to be tough on the Mega Drive. I don't think I ever... I mean, Theme Park and Theme Hospital were my staples as a little, and alongside Pokemon Red emulator, I think. I don't think I even played it on the Game Boy. I played it on the computer.
I did that too.
Like,
yes.
How on earth do you play Theme on a... I mean, the thing is, with 2 Point, we've now got 2 Point come to console. So they've obviously, there's been some fiddling around behind the scenes. But how on earth did that even work? It must have been awful.
Well, the thing is, you say awful, but I was a child who had rented the thing and had no other social engagements. So for me, it was perfect, because, like, what would happen is I would play a game that was on the Mega Drive, find out via my little British game magazines that this was a port of the PC game, right? And then you'd find, maybe a couple of months later, somebody would maybe give you the demo, or, you'd pirate it. Let's be fair, you probably.
It happened.
Look, I game developers of Guildford, I owe you money. Don't come for it though. Very busy. No money here. Mr. Robertson, not at this address.
I'll keep him at bay. Don't worry.
I just remember, like, my crystallising memory of Theme Park is that on the Mega Drive, I would get the bouncy castle, and I liked the bouncy castle because it had the best result. Like, you knew when the bouncy castle was full, and it would have, like, 2 frames of animation of the kids going up and down, right? And then when the thing started smoking, it would just get faster and faster, and it was so much fun to watch. But then, like, I remember seeing it on the PC and going, look at them, they're bouncing. They're bouncing, mother. Like, the amount of times my mum had been called into a room to look at something that she's like, what a technical achievement, John. Amazing. What does the idiot want? What is this? But yeah, I adored Theme Park. And Theme Hospital. Oh my God, their heads inflate. You put them in the de-inflator, and then just an almost duodenum-like nature of their head just flapping back.
See, I referred to it on a live stream once as a skin flap, and everyone stopped and stared at me like I was revolting. I was like, but that's what it is. It's a deflated... There's no skull. It's a skin flap.
Oh, it's so good. I fell in love at around that time with how colourful and yet how bleak, like, British games could be. And it's just terrific because, I mean, like, the Australian gaming sector had existed for a while, but I found that out later, curiously, like, reading another British games magazine. Like, I remember ringing up a mate of mine and going, so you wrote Shadowrun? Is that you? And he's like, oh, yeah. It's like, oh,
it's a really roundabout way to get your information, but I like it.
Oh, yeah, but then that's Australia. That's Australia in general. Like, Australia at the moment is a terrible cosplay of the US. You know, it's just, imagine a bunch of people just at the bottom of the world looking up at the top of the world and going, well, I don't know what they're doing, but I saw it reflected in a funhouse mirror, and I reckon we'll try.
Just give it a go.
Yeah, give it a go. It's embarrassing. Endlessly embarrassing.
What would be more embarrassing is me attempting an Australian accent, so
Give it a go.
I'll reserve.
I never get sick of this game. Been in this country 7 years. Show me what you read.
Oh, I'm not actually going to do it. Are you joking? We're filming this. Good God, what are you, mad? Okay.
No. Like,
okay, let me think. What can I say?
I'll give you a phrase.
Yeah,
go for try for you can have 2 cakes, Kimmy.
Bloody hell. I can't even work out where the first syllable would sit.
Okay, I'll help you. Right? Go up your nose, right? Go up your, because I have a feeling I know the voice that's going to come out, so I'm just going to try to help you. Right? You go up your nose. You can have 2 cakes, Kimmy.
God, it's right up there.
That's it. That's the noise. That's the noise.
You can have 2 cakes, Kimmy.
That's it. You can have 2 cakes, Kimmy. Well, to be fair, like the Australian noise, like doesn't even matter the gender of the person. You just change the fucking you just change the bass with it, right? But the Australian noise is get fucked.
I love that.
That's it. It's just variations on that.
The noise. You know what? I found something. This is completely off topic, and we're definitely going to get back to what we're talking about. I was watching a documentary about the House of Windsor the other day. Did you know that the reason we have Sheilas is because one of the princes at some point, one of the Queen's parents, grandparents kind of era, dated an Australian woman, the original Sheila. She was called Sheila, and that's why British people refer to Australian women as Sheila. Isn't that interesting? The original Sheila.
Look, never underestimate the British ability to colonise everything. You've colonised our women.
We did it, and we did it a long old time ago.
One of us came along, you see, and we found this Sheila. And then we just thought it would save time if we just called all of them that.
All of them. Done. Sheilas.
Wonderful. Perfect.
Anyway, games.
Yes.
So, especially, you mentioned that you started Twitch streaming kind of because of lockdown to a certain extent.
Yes.
So how important would you say, considering, everything that we've got going on at the moment, which we've touched on briefly, but we don't need to go into huge details, how important are games as an escape at this point in the world's history?
Phenomenal. They're brutally important. The most important thing anyone can have at the moment, if you're in a position where you've already got food and you've got shelter, right, is escape. So it's exactly what everyone needs. Everyone needs emotional space from the fact that we can't, you probably couldn't, if you're an adult living in the UK, chances are you were probably having difficulties in your life anyway. And that was before a global pandemic came along, and that was before anything else happens, right? So anything that you can do to give you, not necessarily insulation, but just some time away from that, is super duper important, and games are one of the most accessible mediums. It's a lovely thing to do. Like, you can sit down and read a book. I love reading a book. It's a solitary activity. After that follows the lovely discussion of it. You go, you use your imagination. It's a wonderful thing to do, but it's almost meditative in its nature, right? Whereas a video game, I mean, that can be, but I think of it like, at the moment, the game that's bringing me joy is Among Us, you know? Well, and why not? You're in a time of pandemic where we've all been told to socially distance. Why wouldn't a game called Among Us suddenly become popular? But, like, the idea that is essentially a party game rendered in a way that only a video game can do it, right, and then made popular because people enjoy watching other people play it with their friends on Twitch, right? To be fair, it's the game of 2020. It really is, It
makes sense.
Yeah, it's a lovely thing to do. And also people find satisfaction in so many things. Like when I play, for instance, say The Witcher 3, a big frustration I had is I like an open world adventure where occasionally I run into the plot, right? Because that's what I want to do. Like my wife will be like, he just wants to, like I will go to a mountain and then I will just try to jump over the mountain until the game glitches and lets me. And she's like, no, he'll do that for 45 minutes. Just let him go. He's just doing it, right? Honey badger it, John. Honey badger it, yeah, right? But, so that's my escape. That's my meditation of, I like a game and then I go and I break the game and I have a wonderful time. I feel like I've won, right? When you play like a game like Witcher 3, because instead of it being really open world, it's you run somewhere and then a new checklist opens up going, oh, g'day, have you thought about doing these tasks in this area? That, for some people, is the most wonderful thing. That they just go and they check off the shopping list of experiences and they go, yep, done, perfect. You're 100% completist people.
There's probably something quite nice about being told what to do in a time of complete uncertainty, and just to have this really simple, oh yeah, I can do that. Yep, I can do that. This is fine, and just make it. I don't have any anxiety. Wonderful.
There you go. Yeah, being told what to do when that task is fun is very easy.
Yeah.
Like, people like that, and people love. Well, how do we play this game? People love getting the answer really swiftly. So yeah, I can see all of that. Yeah, it's games serving their purpose, and it's that thing of like, say, a fun little game like Among Us. That's a social event and a really chilled out, relaxing one, despite the fact it's about murder. Dead by Daylight is that, but genuinely tense. Just think, like the idea that we'd see a resurgence of multiplayer party gaming.
Yeah.
Is a real bloody joy. And that speaks to our need to socialise and the value of the internet, which can be good occasionally when it's not busy, convincing you that 5G causes COVID.
I'm on 5G right now and I can confirm no COVIDs. Not a single COVID is happening
now.
Here.
No. It's interesting that the people wearing tinfoil hats don't like wearing masks. You'd think they'd accessorise. Nevertheless.
I think you meant muzzles. I believe they call them muzzles.
Oh, who cares? Let's put it this way. When I was a kid, right, I didn't always know what the cool kids were saying. I'm an adult. I'm not going to pay attention to what the dumb yahoos are saying. Oh, now you got to make certain you're down with the terminology of the crackpots.
Now look here, if you don't say muzzle, none of those people will listen to you, all right? And that's not what you want.
Oh. God, no. Don't want any of that sweet conspiracy theory dollar. No thanks.
So we've spoken about how games obviously influence your streaming, because you're streaming games and you're talking to people about games. But when it comes to stand-up, when you're able to actually perform stand-up, do you find that video games prior to this, were they impacting or influencing your content to any extent?
Oh, yeah. Well, I spend a huge part of my life being that blue man over there. I do a show called The Dark Room, world's only live-action text adventure, where we are literally inside a text adventure. And that's my touring stand-up show, like 90% of the year.
Wicked.
So, I'm inviting people to come and live inside a 1980s game show that I've created. So, yeah, I'm always doing that. And it's that thing where, like, I'll do pastiches of other games, but mostly it's interesting to me because people just understand what it is. They sort of show up and they kind of instinctively go, because it's black, and they're like, fuck, and then like 4 options appear on the screen and they realise they're meant to pick one. It's great. And you can do that, like I do that to crowds anywhere between like 100 and, I think the record's 2,000. So
wow.
It's a lovely thing to do. So yeah, like really video games have made a huge impact. One of the first shows I ever took to Edinburgh Fringe was me. It was called Dragon Punch, and it was just me telling about my love of Street Fighter. My absolute, what a sumptuous game, right? A series of people with ridiculous haircuts throw stuff at each other. What a
tiny
pleasure.
pants sometimes.
Oh yeah, yes.
Or just flaps. We're back to flaps. Okay.
Oh yeah.
Back to flaps.
Well, look. You say flaps. I say spinning bird kick. That's what they called it.
Yeah.
That's what the marketing
people
said. Don't upset Catcom. They're very nice. But I loved that game, and I had an incident at a barbecue where my father-in-law, who's a very very big Texan man, he'd gotten a little bit drunk, and he and his brother started having a tussle, and it's two hulking blokes in their 50s, right, having a poolside push and shove, right, and my wife went, "Oh, go on, John, fix it," right, and I thought, well, what could I do? I've never thrown a punch in my life. So I just ran in and just went, "Shoryuken!" and just jumped. And yeah, the effect was they both just sort of watched a boy pretty much jump in and do a happy Broadway spin. It was lovely. When I hit the floor, he just went, "That was a good try." It was lovely. It was lovely, and then he just pushed his brother in the pool, and the fight was over. Big day for everybody.
It's a good way to end it. I like that you got a very small accolade before.
Oh, I was so
happy.
The
big fanfare.
I may as well have played the Final Fantasy music, and I would have done it if he wouldn't have gone, "Too much. I don't know what this is." Yeah.
It's like cosplaying. I was going to say Red 5, and now I can't remember if that's his name. Is that his name? The dog in Final Fantasy.
I've seen somebody do that.
Yeah, it's pretty cool.
What a fun time they have. For all of the back problems that walking around on all fours like they must do all day, the amount of people who want to patch you probably fixes it.
It's worth it, probably. Yeah. So obviously this is all about how excited we are about Guildford and how much we love Guildford, which we really, really do. Would you happen to have a favourite Guildford game or studio, and why?
Well, look, I'm going to go with, Bullfrog was very much the flavour of my childhood. Mm-hmm. Like, absolutely. And I would run into other things that Molyneux was involved with. So I would run into Populous. Mm-hmm. And that was always fun because that was a game that I remember as a boy going, I like this. I'm just not good at it, and I don't understand it, and I have no intention of ever understanding it or being good at it, but I enjoy the experience. Right, they were fun because they were always they were smarter than other fare. It was a lovely feeling. They were colourful and they were inviting, and they were very wry. These titles they really pleased me. But the one that does it for me, if we must go past theme park, which my God, I filled the entire map. I filled it up. Oh, nothing's on fire for 30 seconds. What a feeling that was. And the joy of Theme Hospital and by extension 2 Point Hospital. Yeah. I will go with the game that united my first ever share house. Very disparate group of people this was, though we all wore black and all deeply wanted to sleep with the same person. Friends, yes, I had a very sad goth share house in my final year of uni, full of very sad goths and one Best of Nick Cave CD that really got used that year. But the thing that everyone got into was Dungeon Keeper. And as well we might have. But yes, given we essentially lived there. But yeah, I loved that. Your deep-voiced narrator, just the joy of realising that everything has gone absolutely wrong, but also that horrible mode of going, look at him suffer. I
think a lot of people played it for that reason.
Yeah, it really pleased me, and because I was never good with actually setting up a game for the PC. Like now I've got a lovely gaming PC laptop, and I just really admire it when it does things itself. When I have to change the graphics processor and stuff, part of me still goes, do I break it open? Do I have to take it out? Do I put the thing in? What is this essentially like buying a Kinder Egg and smashing it, taking out the toy, putting a different toy in? It's too much. It seems to defeat the purpose. But I remember playing that game both when I could figure out how to make the sound card work and when I couldn't. And what a fun, silent time that was. Like just going, everything's fine. Who are these people here smashing up my dungeon? Oh, so good.
But what's so amazing about pretty much everything you mentioned is that so many of the same people are involved in all of those, individual titles, even, theme and obviously 2 Point, all of that stuff, but the in-between as well. It's all the same kind of group.
Oh, yeah, and you can tell. That wasn't a thing that I was consciously aware of when I was a kid. I just knew the label of the studio on the box, right? And then the feeling was good. Like that never stopped.
Yeah.
It was like when people who would go and buy the new LucasArts game because you essentially knew what you were getting.
Yeah.
It kind of felt a bit like that, except it was us, just kind of being dumb kids, accidentally colliding with the same people over and over again, and just it being perfect. I mean, to be fair, the one thing I haven't mentioned because my memories of it are later, like it wasn't a childhood thing. But my God, right? Because I can see if I tilt my head over, I can see the commemorative controller I've got from the Xbox 360 for Fable 3. Because Fable 2 was my game. That thing. Oh my God, yeah. Fable 3 was a gift from a friend. They gave me the controller one Christmas, and it was brilliant. They're like, "That's the thing you like," and I was like, "Yes."
Oh, bless.
Yeah, it was brilliant. It was so good. But yeah, I remember all of the discussion around the idea of Fable meant that so many of my friends, the ones who could be coaxed away from the JRPGs, right? Like the ones who could come back and like, come on, remember we had so much fun. Don't you remember the ghost house was on fire? Right? Fable, just the idea of the thing that you do when you're young is going to influence what happens when you're older. Oh, good.
Yeah.
Good. I mean, especially since given that most people, they know that that's true, but most people spend their whole lives trying to escape from the idea of what they were like when they were young,
Yeah, instead of offsetting it, like in Fable.
Yeah, well, let's put it this way. Half of London, I've discovered, is young women from the north who've come down here and mystifyingly lost an accent on the way. Which upsets me, because I didn't have a broad Australian accent until I got here. And I will rocker the fuck out of it now!
I'm so into accents. Like, even northern ones. I like them very much. I think everyone should stay true to, yeah. I feel the same.
Look,
like,
absolutely.
Rocket.
It baffles me that people, I understand psychologically when people go, I want to reinvent myself. I don't like you. Don't discard your heritage.
Never. And Fable very much encapsulates British heritage. Like it's all of it in a beautiful little package, and it's fairy tale, and it's crude, and it's it pushes boundaries. I mean, in so many ways. I think was it Fable 2 or Fable 3 where it must have been Fable. No, it was Fable 2. They got death threats, that dev team, because they had a very liberal view to sexual relationships.
Yes, they did.
And that's when they started getting
and that was me saying, yes, they did have a liberal view to sexual relationships, which was wonderful. I didn't know about the death threats. Fortunately, it is almost 20 years on.
Yes.
So
we're in a better place now.
Sorry, so watch me process alarming information in real time. I loved Fable 2 because if I were to load that up now, and I easily could, it's just sitting over there, could pop it in. I did the cheat by changing the year that my Xbox rendered it as, so
nice.
Suddenly I just got all the money in the one go, so I had the best time playing Fable 2. But when I think about it, I can walk around that game and I can go past statues of me when my character was dressed like a monk. He was obese and he had red horns, and he was just called the Baron, and that's what all of the local bards would sing about,
I like that.
right? And he finished his life having taken the elixir, which is available right at the end of the game. So now she is a beautiful multi-millionairess living in the largest house in the finest city, permanently in love with the most gorgeous woman. And whereas before the rent was gouging the life out of everybody, anytime I play the game, I just have her walk around and just make everyone's house free.
Just make something a little bit better every time. I like that.
Every single time. Well, it's lovely. That. Well, I may as well do that because I've actually caused a great deal of suffering for those digital people. I may as well. But yeah, also just the joy of just walking around and just making your kid fart, And then just watching there'd always be, whenever you'd have a sea of disgusted people and one person who really liked it.
Yeah, just the one.
That. Yeah, just
the one villager, yes, this is what I came for.
Yeah, that makes me happy. And anyone who's done stand-up can appreciate that. That's a great thing.
There's always one.
The joke that bombs and then there's one person yes! Yes!
It must be a weird kind of joy, actually. I can see why that would be enjoyable. So if you were to wake up tomorrow morning and you're a game developer, right? What would you be? Where do you think you would fit in the games world, development
Oh,
world?
that's a great question. I would be a narrative designer.
Very nice.
Yeah. I've gone and said that because that's the thing that I've done before, and it's a very, very pleasant thing to do. Like I like to script things. I've got experience doing that. I like to make worlds, and it's nice to stick dialogue in people's mouths and be like, all right, we're going to give them the illusion of choice, but secretly I am the one who determines what you will choose.
Great, I'm really into the psychology of it, actually. I like kind of working out, okay, what do they think I'm going to interpret by that, and what do they think, and kind of playing them against each other almost.
Oh, it's a lovely thing to do. I mean, with Darkroom, when I made the Steam version of that, that's exactly what we did. We had a person at the studio who's going, no, John, you don't understand. There's like this sort of unspoken contract between us and the player that the game will be enjoyable. I was like, no, absolutely.
I don't have time for that.
No. The game will be a lot of fun because the dialogue's funny, but everything will be deliberately broken and it's going to be great.
And the other thing that you have is real, of course there are environment artists and there are those kind of aspects that are actually building the world, but the dialogue is absolutely one of those things where if it doesn't hit, you notice it immediately. Like if it's slightly off or if the world doesn't really sit with it perfectly, you notice it, So
just the worst.
It's a big deal.
Look, like I remember when the 360 came out and there was the new Prince of Persia game. And Prince of Persia had that lovely resurgence thanks to the Sands of Time series, which is a beautifully well-written thing. Like, people used to quote to me the thing the prince says when he dies, because he's literally telling you a story. And when he died, for the continuity, you go, oh, no, that's not what happened. And, and everyone loved that. And then suddenly, he was this obnoxious teenager. Just this American who, oh, no, the worst. The worst. It was one of those things where you're just sitting there going, I remember when this was a game where he was a rotoscoped, two-dimensional series of blocks in white pajamas who didn't talk.
Yeah, and I didn't notice. And that was fine.
And it was better.
Yeah. It's weird, isn't it?
No, I hear you.
So what would you say, I mean, of course, all of this time you've got with Twitch and essentially stand-up is also you can, claim gaming moments within that because of the content that you're covering. But what do you think would be your most amazing gaming moment? Is it a long and rambling one?
In terms of an accomplishment that could be, held onto and go.
Well, it's up to you. It could be the first time that you beat a sibling. It could be the best achievement you've ever managed to gain.
Right.
However you want to interpret it.
This is very characteristic of me. I've got two. The first is that my wife and I developed a habit where when we would play just really fun open world games, we play them together and I drive and she tells me where to drive. So we've completed every God of War game that's ever been made. I couldn't tell you who I killed, what the plot was, what anyone was doing because I was a person sitting there while she went, there, the box, right? So, literally I just drove. It was a wonderful time. I definitely put out some people's eyes. We had a great time. But the first time that we did anything like that was playing We Love Katamari on the PS2. And we got up together to roll up the entire world.
Oh,
and that was
you
a great day.
legends.
So beautiful.
How did you commemorate that?
Yeah, and my other big gaming achievement is that the DVD player in my first share house had a built-in knockoff of Tetris. I had a particularly irritating housemate, woke us all up one morning to go, I got the highest score in Tetris, got the highest score. He was very happy about that. But he he underestimated how much spare time I had. So when I waited one night for everyone to go to bed and I figured out after a while it just didn't get any faster. So I must have been...
You must have done it.
It's a shameful amount of hours that I spent on that, but 7 hours later, I went to bed, woke up, there's that moment going, I want to check the DVD player. It was just one of those lovely moments of going, ha ha, fool, you can't beat me, for you see, you have a job.
You can actually, if you ever want to reenact that in any way, if you're ever on a plane, most planes have Tetris, and you can play against everyone else on the plane. Get really into it, especially if you've got a couple of friends sitting far away so you can't see what they're up to. But yeah, it's quite a nice competitive past 12 hours of your time way to do things. Yeah.
Oh, look, it's either do that or, watch The Godfather in a format it's not suited to.
Yeah. And teeny. Yeah. Brilliant.
Tiny screen in front of you while somebody continually farts in your face for 17 hours. That's very good for Tetris. Not so good for Francis Ford Coppola's masterwork.
Not at all. It's actually hurting me just thinking about it. So let us. I don't want to take up too much more of your time. We all got stuff to do in this crazy modern world.
Well, I've got to go and win a Tetris again. Don't worry about that. That's my only plan. Doesn't even live with me anymore, but he deserves to suffer.
Him. Good. Okay, get him on the Twitch and then do it there. Get Tetris Effect and ruin him.
It'd be brilliant. Audience.
So, if you could invite any 3 video games characters to dinner. And you can choose what's for dinner. They don't mind, probably. They're not real. Who would they be?
Okay. All right. Childhood nostalgia dictates that I invite Sonic the Hedgehog.
Of course.
However, Sonic the Hedgehog, let's be fair, would be deeply irritating. His primary characteristics are he's got attitude and he runs very swiftly.
I bet he doesn't take his shoes off.
Yes, he won't take his bloody shoes. Well, if he takes his shoes off, he'll be nude. We can't have that.
You're right.
So I think what I'll do is I'll invite the King of all Cosmos from Katamari, because if the meal goes badly, he'll accidentally destroy all of it. I will be inviting my house Carl Lydia from Skyrim.
Nice.
The only DLC my wife and I ever downloaded was the one that let us marry her. We love her.
Aww.
Now that we're married, we don't take her on adventures anymore because she'll die.
Keep her safe.
Yeah, we're very upset by that. I ended up becoming a vampire werewolf, and I don't think she knows. We haven't been to the house in a while. Anyway,
I'm so sorry.
Oh no, it's okay. She's amazing. So fun. Just carrying all the stuff. And then, I remember, God almighty, I remember when she died, my wife just going, she's like, when did you save? Like, a while ago. I don't care. Go back.
Now.
And we did, Yes. So King of all Cosmos, House Carl Lydia, and now I'm in the mood. My horse Bumblebee from Red Dead Redemption 2.
Oh, no, that's sweet.
Yeah,
Bumblebee.
We can just put its head in through the stables and we'll have ourselves a delicious meal, to be fair, of, you know what, why don't we? Because I went through a period of trying to make the food from Skyrim. And I've got a Fallout cookbook somewhere in the house. So
nice.
We'll have some beautiful rad roach meat. We'll have. I like the. I can't remember what it is, but it's this kind of apple mash thing that they have in Skyrim, and it turns out you can make it, and it ends up being like a sweet sauerkraut, so sweeterkraut. Yeah.
Nice. That for the whole meal, just with a spoon.
Oh, that's just for the horse, to be fair. I mean, the rest of us, we're having steak.
Sandwiches. Oh, okay.
Steak? Yeah, we're having blue hedgehog steak. It's
lovely. Great. Without the trainers, please. John, thank you so much for taking some time to talk to us about games and about Guildford and everything you're up to. It's very much appreciated.
Thank you so much. See you. Bye.